Maine, Mac had plenty of photos to share. He was married and the father of 4. And Coop had a 2-year-old son he hadn't known about until he'd run into his old girlfriend about 6 months ago. They'd reconnected, gotten married, and were now a happy family. Earlier in the week, the teammates had gotten word from their commanding officer that next week was the start of a 4-month leave. For Flipper, that meant heading home to Dallas, and he couldn't wait. His mother had a birthday coming up, and he was glad he would be home to celebrate. "I don't care what plans you all are making for your leave, just as long as you remember my mom's birthday celebration. I understand you not showing up, Viper, with the baby on the way. The rest of you guys, no excuses." "We hear you," Bain said, grinning, "and we will be there." When Viper ordered another hamburger, everyone teased him about being the one to eat for 2 instead of his wife, and then everyone talked about what they planned to do with their 4 months off. It was 2 hours later when Flipper walked into the Admiral's office. He was surprised to find Commanding Officer Shields there as well. Flipper saluted both men. "At ease. Please have a seat, Lieutenant Holloway." "Thank you, sir," he said, sitting down. He was used to being under his commanding officer's intense scrutiny, but there was something in the sharp green eyes of Admiral Norris Martin that was making him feel uncomfortable. "You come highly recommended by your commanding officer here, Lieutenant Holloway, and the reason I asked to meet with you is that we need you. Your country needs you." Flipper was happy to step up. He was a Navy SEAL, and the reason he'd enlisted, like his father and brothers, was to protect his country. "And what am I needed to do, sir?" he asked. "Our investigators have provided intelligence and a preliminary report that says acts of espionage are happening in Key West. Someone is trading valuable government secrets to China." Flipper didn't respond immediately. The one thing he hated was a traitor, but he discovered that for the right price, a number of American citizens would perform acts of treason. He understood that. However, what he didn't understand was why he'd been singled out for this meeting. He was part of a SEAL team. He didn't work in naval intelligence. Confusion must have shown on his face because Admiral Martin continued. "The report was given to me, but I don't believe it." Flipper raised a brow. "You don't believe a report that classified documents are being traded in Key West, sir?" "Oh, I believe all that, but what I refuse to believe is that this suspect is guilty of anything." "Is there a reason why, sir?" "Here is the information," said Commanding Officer Shields, speaking for the first time as he handed Flipper a folder. Flipper opened it to find a picture of a very beautiful woman. She looked to be around 24, with dark, sultry eyes and full, shapely lips. Then there was her mass of copper-brown spiral curls that flowed to her shoulders, crowning a cocoa-colored face. A pair of dangling gold earrings hung from her ears, and a golden pendant necklace hung around her neck. He knew he was spending too much time studying her features, but it couldn't be helped. The woman was strikingly beautiful. Reluctantly, he moved his gaze away from her face to check out the background of the photo. From the tropical vegetation captured by the photographer, she seemed to be on an island somewhere. She stood near a body of water that showed in the corner of the 8x10 photo. Scribbled across the bottom were the words, "Miss you, Godpop 1. Love, Swan." Swan? It was an unusual name, but it fit. He moved to the next document in the file. Attached to it was a small family photo that showed a tall Caucasian man with sandy brown hair and brown eyes standing beside a beautiful woman who closely resembled Swan, her mother. In front of the couple was a beautiful little girl who looked to be around 8. Flipper studied the child's face and knew that child had grown up to be the gorgeous woman in the first photo. The shape of her face was the same, as were her eyes. Even as a child, she'd had long curly hair. The family photo was clipped to a profile of the young woman. As he'd guessed, she was 24.